become a friend of mine over the years, and there are a lot of things that people don't know about me. Maybe we should start by putting up that confirmation picture. Come on. Do we have it? It's around here someplace. Come on. Put that up. You believe this? You see it? Oh. Isn't he cute? Not really. That was my confirmation. First Presbyterian Church in Queens, New York. And a great group of people, great minister. I still remember it well, although a little bit older. That's my real hair, and that's my real hair. Well, it is an honor to be here, and I've always loved Iowa because the people of Iowa are hard-working people. Something that we have to see a little bit more of in this country when you look at what's going on in the United States, what's going on with the country we love. We need people that work, and we need leadership that's smart. You know, interestingly, we're a free trade country. But it's not really free trade if you look at what's going on with the manipulation of other currencies, especially and in particular China. But free trade is okay if you have really smart leadership. When your leadership isn't up to par, when your leadership isn't smart, when in some cases your leadership is incompetent, free trade is really bad for us, believe me, because we're on the wrong end of the stick. So when I look at what's going on with this country, when I look at $17 trillion, a word that you didn't even hear 10 years ago, the word trillion, it didn't exist as far as we were concerned. Now that's all you hear, $17 trillion in debt. You look at deficits that are record-setting, and they're not going to get better. The market is false. You know, about 2 years ago, I said, I'm going to invest in the stock market. I was never a stock market person. But the market had to go up based on what they're doing with the Federal Reserve. It almost had to go up. I don't even consider it a great bet. And it made a lot of money in the stock market because I said the market has to go up. They're giving you free money. But that's a false economy. And I better not speak too much about that because otherwise I'll have to sell my stock very quickly. But it's sort of a false economy. It's not real. When you look at unemployment, where they say it's 7.4, okay, 7.4. It's not 7.4. It's probably anywhere from 15 to 17%. It's incredible. In fact, the other day, the numbers came out, and the numbers were not good, and lots of bad things were happening. The only thing that happened good went from 7.5 to 7.4. And so people said, well, if everything's bad, how come it keeps going down? Because people stop looking for work, and they take them off the rolls. They don't count them. So if you're looking for a job and you give up, you're not counted. Now, they started doing this a number of years ago. How phony can anything get? It's not real, it's not right, and we're just kidding ourselves. So what are we doing? Our country is in serious trouble. We have problems like we have not had before. And we have jobs that are just disappearing. The Republican Party is in serious trouble because we have elections coming up. We have to win. We have to defeat Obamacare. We have to defeat it. Whether people like or don't like, it's killing business, and it's going to really kill. It's going to destroy, potentially destroy the base of the country. So when I see all of the different senators, whether it's Senator Lee, Senator Cruz, many others that are so strongly opposed to Obamacare, you have to give them credit for what they're trying to do. They know where we're going, and it's not a good place. So our country is in trouble, but our country has tremendous potential with the right leadership. Tremendous potential. We have so many different issues that have to be solved. I was listening to Bob, and I was listening to actually a couple of your speakers, and it is true. You need border security. You have to have it. I mean, it's like a sieve where people come in, and they stay for whatever they want. By the way, if people come in illegally, They get green cards, they get everything. Then they go, because their green card expires. And they go. Legally, they go. But people come in illegally. You need border security. It all starts. Either you have a country or you don't. It's very simple. You either have a country or you don't. And having a country starts with security at your borders. So you just cannot continue. You just cannot continue to do what we're doing right now. Now, when it comes to immigration, you have to do the right thing. You have to, in your own heart, you're dealing with lives, you're dealing with human beings, you have to do the right thing. But it's got to be done in a very, very smart and methodical method. The Republicans, every single one, let's say I hear the number, nobody knows what the number is, but I hear 11 million illegals. Well, I hear the number could be much higher than that. If you do something where they get a vote, just remember, and I think I was the first one to say it, I don't know if you remember, but I said this a long time ago when this first came up. Every one of those people, virtually, will be voting Democratic. They're not voting Republican. And whether Senator Rubio is leading the fight, and that's the immigration fight, or not, it's irrelevant. They're just going to be voting Democrat. That's the way it is. And the Democrats have taken hold of this issue, and they love the issue. Do what's right, but be very careful, because it could be a death wish for the Republican Party. You're talking about 11 million people, you're talking about ultimately 37 to 50 million people, and you're not going to get those votes, or certainly you're not going to get them very easily. So you have to be a little bit careful. It's very, very important to the Republican Party. It's an important issue, but you have to do it properly. So that's immigration. Complicated. Almost so many different levels of fairness and unfairness, but it has to be handled properly. And you have to start with securing the borders. Period. Okay. When you look at what's going on with Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, where the Republicans seem to want to do something, and I know they come on strongly and very strongly, and they're going to, do this and that, and then all of a sudden it gets weaker as the campaign goes by, and by the end of the campaign they're not talking about it, then they bring it up again. The fact is, the way you solve Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security is by developing a really powerful engine, developing a really strong nation again, like we used to be. Not a nation that's borrowing trillions of dollars, much of it from China, not our friend, by the way, but much of it from China, taking our jobs through job manipulation, money manipulation, and lots of other things. You really have to do something, and it has to be done properly. But when it comes to the engine, when it comes to the economy, if we could rev up this economy, and like it should be, not with false numbers like 7.4% unemployment, but with real numbers, and we could take back our jobs from China and say, you're not going to manipulate your currency any longer. It's very, very hard to buy product from our country. And I'm a victim of it also, because they manipulate better than anybody has ever manipulated a currency before, ever. Our product is better. It's better made. I know much about Chinese product, and I know about product from all over the world. I'm building all over the world. I just got the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue. Can you believe this? You have the White House, you have Congress, and I'm building right in the middle. The great hotel. Can you believe this? So interesting. But it's going to be one of the great hotels. A lot of people are going to be building it. A lot of people are going to be working there. It's going to put a lot of people to work. It's going to take care of a lot of families through education, through health care. But I'm very proud of it. I'm doing Doral, 800 acres in the middle of Miami. It's going to be fantastic. It was run very poorly by people that had no idea what they're doing, very much like our nation, by the way. And within 2 years, it'll be the hottest resort in the country. Does everybody agree with that? I think so. Right? Well, that's been my record. But it's not so different from this country. When was the last time, as an example, you saw a major bridge being built in the United States? You don't see it anymore. In China, they're building 47 massive bridges, like the Verrazano, like the Golden Gate. That's like peanuts compared to what they're small bridges now. They're building bridges. They're building airports. Other countries, not just China. And when I speak of China, I have to tell you, in Business Week magazine, it was 10 things that the Chinese most want. One of the 10 things, can you believe it, was anything Trump. They want anything Trump. And I knocked the hell out of them. Isn't it crazy? But they respect you for it. And I have many friends in China, and they can't believe what they get away with. And they respect their leadership for it. And then the president of China comes over, and we give him this incredible dinner. Incredible. We honor him at a state dinner in Washington. And I once made the statement that I'd buy him a McDonald's, tell him if you don't stop doing this, we just want you to go home. And there's a lot of truth to it. And believe me, they respect it. When they say we want anything Trump, they know how to talk. They know what I say. But they respect it. They respect it. And our country is really, we're losing jobs by the millions. We don't have jobs. We don't manufacture like we did. And if you look at China, if you look at what they do with Boeing, with Caterpillar, they take the secrets, they take the patents, they make you build plants over there. They don't want Caterpillar tractors built in Peoria. They don't want Caterpillar tractors built in the United States. They want to build over there. Well, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? It's no great secret. And if they're going to manipulate their currency, and hurt us very badly, and this is again other countries also, why aren't we taxing them so that their product becomes more expensive? Now what's going to happen is it'll never go into effect because they will stop manipulation so fast your head will spin. But they don't believe our leaders, they don't respect our leaders, and they don't think our leaders are very smart. It's a problem. It's a problem. So every time North Korea, as an example, acts up, they act up, a little wacky. And they say, oh, we got missiles, we got this, okay. So South Korea calls us up, and they say, we want protection. We need protection. Now, South Korea, again, I have many friends in South Korea. They can't believe they get protection, they get free protection. So we rev up the destroyers, we get our battleships, we get our aircraft carriers all set. We get our planes. Every time you turn on the engine of an aircraft carrier, it costs probably $1.5 million. And we start sending them over there. And we protect them. What do we get at? I just ordered thousands of television sets for a job that I'm building. Thousands. They're made in Korea. It's not that I want. They don't really make them here. Now, I'll get a letter someplace, oh, well, we make them, you'll make 5 television sets someplace in some part of the country. They really don't make them here. You go to Japan, you go to South Korea, etc. But what do we get at it? Every time we protect South Korea, and it's wonderful to protect South Korea, I think it's great. Let them pay us for it. What are we doing? And, it's amazing because I hear so many people, even conservative politicians, and I'm friendly with many politicians, conservatives, liberals, I'm friendly with all of them. I do a lot, I do a lot of business, I do everybody. But I literally hear these people saying, how can you say a thing like that? That's so nasty. That's what the mafia says. The mafia gets money for protection. I know, it's all right. But they actually tell me, but that's the mafia says that. And I say, I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to be respectful. I say, give me a break. They don't believe they get away with it. So we spend hundreds of millions and billions of dollars on protecting other countries. We get nothing. Not only don't we get, they don't respect us, they don't like us, they laugh at us, and they take advantage of us. We get nothing. And you're talking about South Korea making a fortune, by the way. You can't make a ship that's built anywhere but South Korea in terms of the big tankers and the big freight ships. You can't do it. So they have this huge thing, and we protect them at tremendous cost. And we get nothing. We get nothing. You look at a place like Mexico. Mexico over the next couple of years is going to be our biggest, we're going to be importing half of the things we get from Mexico. And this all started a number of years ago. We all remember it. And I know there's some places in Iowa, frankly, because I watch 60 Minutes also. But there's some places in Iowa where the whole factory just moved to Mexico. For what? And they get tax subsidies from us. They get tax subsidies in Brazil. You buy an airplane made in Brazil, you get a subsidy. From the United States. Not supposed to be that way. So there's such a lack of intelligence. You know, I'd almost say it's either dishonesty, because these companies and these countries have the right lobbyists, or it's pure stupidity. Probably it's a combination of both. It's probably a combination. But it is amazing. One of the things that I look at, and I look at so strongly, you look at places like North Dakota where they're just going wild, and you look at what we found. You know, technology has really shown that we are rich again, but we can't get it because of the environmentalists, of which, frankly, you know, I do very well with the environment. I build all over, I get awards. I know you're shocked to hear that, but I actually get environmental awards. It's sometimes not easy to get these projects going, but I actually do. But we can't drill, we can't frack, we can't do many things to take this incredible wealth out of the ground, wealth that will make us rich, wealth that will take care of Social Security, will take care of Medicare, will take care of Medicare. When I was looking to run last time, and I was only thinking about it really once, but I was looking at it very seriously, and I was getting these great poll numbers, and people, I don't know if they liked me or not, but they did like what I said. What I said is what I'm saying now. Nothing changes. Amazingly, people agree with me, but nothing ever changes. It continues to be the same. If anything, it gets worse. It's probably worse now than it's ever been. But when I was thinking about running, I really felt, and I was so honored. I love doing it. I mean, I love talking about it because I love the country, and I hate to see what's happening with our country. I have like a slogan, make America great again. I have to add the word again. Because, you know, in 2016, China will become the great economic power in the world. And this was unthinkable 10 years ago. Unthinkable. If you said that, people would laugh at you. But unless something happens very drastically, China becomes the economic power of the world. They surpass us in 2016. So whoever is president in 2016, you better move fast because you don't want that to happen. It will be a very, very sad day to me, and I think to a lot of other people, when that happens. But it was very interesting because I like Mitt Romney personally. I think he's a very good guy. I don't know what the hell happened with his campaign. I just don't get it. That was an election that couldn't have been lost. It couldn't have been lost. And with me building all over and doing shows, The Apprentice, and all of the things, you know, it's hard for me to run for office because I'm doing things, so many things. I have great children, Ivanka, you know, Don, and Eric, they're good kids, and they run, but it's hard. It's not like if you're a politician, you want to run for office, you say, hey, I'm running for office. What do they lose? They gain. Even if they lose, they gain. They gain recognition, they gain something. But with me, it's tough. When I backed Mitt Romney, and he was very nice and very thankful. And they called me, and they said, you know, we'd like you to do some really great campaigns in certain states, like in North Carolina, Michigan, and different places, during the primary. And robocalls, and what I do, I made some great robocalls. They were vicious. Oh, they were brutal. They gave me the most pathetic thing to say. I said, I can't say this, I'll ruin my reputation. It's like, if you're listening, would you please back Mitt Romney? He's a wonderful fellow. I said, if I say that, so I really hit him hard with, you know, how good Mitt is, how bad everything else is. And they were great. They did very good. And anyway, every single state that they asked me to go to or do some phone calls or do some television, he won in the primaries. But when it came to the election, the general election, I think they felt I was a little controversial. I really do. And I didn't mind to be honest, I love Florida, I'm there all the time, but I didn't need to go on television talking about Mitt Romney. I'm talking about somebody I'd much rather talk about myself, to be honest with you. It's hard for me, it's true. It's very hard for me to build up somebody else, but he was a good man. But something happened. Something happened. The whole thing, the first debate, it was looking good, and then the second debate, it was like a total collapse, and the third debate was a total disaster. Benghazi is a disgrace. The worst part about Benghazi was that we didn't send anybody in to get these bad people. There's no retribution. And I hear we know who they are. And we don't send anybody in. How pathetic is that? They kill our ambassador, who, by the way, was proudly riding in the Jeep, the open Jeep, weeks before, as the rebels, like Gone with the Wind, these wonderful rebels, the wonderful rebels, as they're taking over. And he's proudly going through the streets, waving to everybody. And then what they did to him was unbelievable. The killing was terrible. But the way they killed him, from what I understand, was beyond. And we don't have, and of course, the other gentleman, we don't have retribution. We don't even know when to get them. Why don't we get them? And we know who they are. And in a certain way, that is just something that is unacceptable. So with Mitt, they ran, something happened. The subject, and we all remember that Benghazi was brought up, and Mitt essentially said that the president was handling Benghazi well. I almost fell off my chair when I heard that answer, as probably most of you did. And just a lot of bad things happened during that campaign. Karl Rove spent $400 million on ads. He didn't win an election. By the way, they were the worst ads I've ever seen. I know something about ads. I saw some of these ads. And even the Republican Party, generally speaking, the ads are so bad. Do you remember the ad with Obama speaking in Germany? Where they said, we don't want a rock star as a president. He was speaking for hundreds of thousands of people. And they put that on, and they have him speaking, and you got these people going crazy in Germany, shouting, yeah, great. And I said, what a great ad. I thought Obama made it. We made it. Oh, wait, not me. You made it. I said, what a great ad. What a great ad. That ad's Victor. Remember they were saying he's a rock star. We don't want a rock star as president. Actually, we do want a rock star as president. That's what we need, somebody that's great. That ad was a disaster. But all of the ads, it was so bad. So $430-some-odd million was thrown out the window. Thrown out the window. Like nothing. So the Republicans have to get smart. They actually have a tougher race. I am a Republican, proudly. But I'm a very conservative Republican. But they have... And by the way, I am pro-life. Traditional marriage. And Second Amendment, 100%. It's amazing. They want to take away guns. But they're not going to take them away from bad guys. So everybody's going to give, every honorable, honest, good soul is going to give up their gun. Okay, we're going to give it up because the law says give it up, right? The bad guys aren't giving it up. So what are we going to do? They walk into your house. It's like, take whatever you want, sir. So I don't understand it. And I have really some smart friends. I don't want to mention names, but people that that are, they disagree with me on this subject. I don't understand them. I don't even understand them. How can they do that? How can they disagree? It's like there are many things. When we wasted, and most importantly the 4,000 lives or more, and by the way, thousands on the other side, hundreds of thousands on the other side, when we were in Iraq, and we spent $1.5 trillion, and we have third world airports, bridges falling down, I was saying before about China building bridges. Our bridge is falling down. When was the last time we saw a bridge? Other than in San Francisco, they're building the Bay Bridge. You know who's building it? The Chinese. The Chinese. And it's got hundreds of millions of dollars of cost overruns. And I guarantee they're making plenty of money on that bridge. It's the only bridge I know. And the Chinese are building. But you go to LaGuardia Airport in New York. You go to Kennedy Airport in New York. You go to LAX. You look at these airports, it's like coming, and I travel all over the world, so I see some of the greatest airports in the world, brand new, gorgeous, like you wouldn't believe. And then you come back home to New York, and you see this place that's broken, bad runways, disgusting buildings, broken floors, broken tile ceilings coming down. And I say, what are we doing? And we've made other countries rich. You know, we have rebuilt China. When China spends on building 40 bridges and building airports in every city that are better than any of our airports, take our best airport, it's not as good as their worst airport. They did it with us. They did it with our money because the money goes out. You know, hey, I love Apple. It's wonderful. But Apple, it's all made in China. They're the ones that really should benefit. And then this new guy running Apple, how about this? He apologizes to the Chinese 2 months ago. He apologized to the Chinese. With all the jobs he supplied, he apologizes. So when you look at what we're doing, when you look at our leadership, when you look at the lack of intelligence, the lack of coherence, we have a long way to go. So the Republicans, though, despite all of the above, are going to have a very tough election. Hillary is probably assuming good health and all other things. I know her very well, and I know her husband very well. Hillary is probably going to be the nominee if you look at polls, if you look at everything. And it's going to be, in my opinion, a tougher race than the last race. I mean, really tough. And somebody is going to have to emerge who's really smart and really, because Obama should have been beaten, Hillary's going to be tougher to beat. And the Republicans have to do what's right. If they don't pick the right person, and I mean the right person, perfect, it's got to be the perfect person, they are going to get drugged in the 2016 election. And that's not going to be a good thing. Because this country has to be brought back from the edge. This country has to be brought back from the edge. It's ready to go over. It can be saved, but there's a point at which it's going to be too late. So the Republicans have to get very tough and very smart, and they have to do it fast. You've got very important elections coming up in 2014. You've got an unbelievably important presidential election coming up, and that's in a long while. It's a long time from now. We had the opportunity, and unfortunately, things didn't work out. But we have a country that has to be brought back, and it has to be brought back through great, great leadership. And if we don't pick the right person, we are not going to have great leadership, and this country is going to be in very, very deep and perhaps permanent trouble. So with that, I tell you that it's an honor to be here tonight. It's really an honor. And I love flying in. I love looking at all of the activity under that airplane. I see people just going to town and the beautiful farms and the beautiful acreage. It's just beautiful to see. I don't see that so much in New York. New York is a little different view. But I have many friends that live in Iowa, and they're great people. They're hardworking people. They're amazing people. And it's really been an honor to be with you tonight. And thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.